What's most unique about the company is the culture. It's a great culture. You don't feel like a number.
People are important to our company, because if we don't have people, we don't have a company. And I firmly believe that if we have good people, we'll have a good company. If we have great people, we'll have a great company. Isaac Construction came to be through Sir Neil and Lady Isaac, who back then were Neil and Diana Isaac. They met during the Second World War on a boat to India.
Soon after World War II, Sir Neil and Lady Isaac returned to New Zealand, where they purchased 5 hectares of land and started the Isaac Construction Company.
They started the company in 1950 and developed it from there. So over 65 years ago that the company's been running. Isaac Construction builds roads. We build pavements, airports, ports, subdivisions, council roads, pathways, driveways, anything to do with horizontal infrastructure.
We pretty much do it all, really.
The Isaac site is 1,100 hectares, so we have here all of the assets, which is Isaac Construction Limited, sheep farm, dairy farm, there's a salmon farm, salmon hatchery, and in amongst all of that is also the Isaac Heritage Village, the Wildlife Breeding Centre, so it is quite rich and diverse. Sir Neil and Lady Isaac bequeathed all of their assets into the Isaac Conservation and Wildlife Trust, and one of those assets, the largest asset, is Isaac Construction Limited. So the trust effectively owns the construction company.
In the late 60s, early 70s, they quarried out a lot of the land around this area and leaving big holes in the ground. And what were they going to do with it? So they had a passion for conservation. So they turned the quarried land back into a conservation park called Peacock Springs, and started rehabilitating the land and looking after endangered species of New Zealand flora and fauna, developing and enhancing them for the future, which is back in the 60s and 70s wasn't the done thing.
Conservation is embodied in 3 main areas: the breeding of critically endangered flora and fauna, the conservation of heritage buildings embodied by the Isaac Heritage Village here on site, and conservation in terms of education, which is where we have postgraduate scholarships at Canterbury and Lincoln University.
The company's purpose is to be a strong contributor to the group and a big supporter of the Isaac Conservation Wildlife Trust. And it's a great purpose to have because it really differentiates us from any other construction business worldwide, as far as I'm aware, where the work we do has so much meaning.
It is extremely important to me. I don't think there's many other companies that put everything they do into a wildlife or environmental trust.
All the birds and ducks and wildlife that we breed here are basically our shareholders. We support them, and it's a great thing for Canterbury and New Zealand.
We actually do quite a bit for Christchurch and as a whole. Didn't even realise the Isaac Theatre Royal was named after Isaacs. So it was actually good to know that there is a strong community base revolved around work.
I really like the environment and the people. It's pretty laid back, which suits me really well, and it's an incredibly caring business, a family-orientated business, and they treat everyone really well.
Probably one of the first companies I've worked for that actually had the family atmosphere. Some companies say they do have the atmosphere, but Isaac's are definitely the ones that portrayed that out there.
This is a place where people matter, and we strive to excel people.
When I first started with Isaacs, I started as a temp on a digger about 10 years ago, and from then I've just grown and had the opportunity to change in my career.
Isaacs have sort of laid the pathway out for me where I was able to get my licences. Opportunities came where I could step into leadership roles, so I became a 2IC, became a foreman.
Surrounding yourself with some good people really adds to the team atmosphere, and there are times where I'll intervene and be the boss, but I always tell them I'm a colleague first and foremost, and if there are issues, then I'm your boss.
We have a CEO who I play touch with every Wednesday. He's on the touch team.
It's a good opportunity to definitely give him some flack outside of work hours. Yeah, he does struggle a wee bit on the field, I'll put that out there.
The communication's great. If you have a problem, you can just call him up, go see him.
There's an open door policy at Isaacs, so if you need support, everybody's willing to help each other just to get the job done.
The reason I'm so passionate about working at Isaacs is that our hard work as a company goes to something that's going to leave a legacy for the future. Instead of going to offshore investments or shareholders' funds, it goes to something that's tangible and we can see and people can get benefit and joy out of in the future. Our goal as a company is to be New Zealand's leading product and service provider in the construction industry. But simplified down, it just means we want to be better tomorrow, better each day than we were the last.